What's up, everyone? We are back with another farming strategy, this one dealing with harbingers. So make sure you get subscribed if you're not subscribed already. Hit that like button and let's jump into it. Now, for the Atlas tree, one of the biggest misconceptions about harbingers is that the quantity and the explicit modifier that increases the quantity and rarity does anything to the harbinger drops. It does not. It does absolutely nothing to the actual harbinger drop, the thing that drops these shards. The only thing that affects it are the scarabs that you put in. So let's make that very clear. So apart from getting the 3 harbinger nodes, you can see they're right here, and right here, to get some more harbingers, chance for them to become a harbinger boss, which is pretty important. We are basically just doing explicit modifiers to get the quantity as high as possible, as well as using the Searing Exarch altars with the Light of Dawn, so that the altar appears quicker, hopefully. So if we get a decent altar, one that drops something like Grand Eldritch Chickers, or embers, or the chaos orbs, we get that through most of the map. We're also doing corpses and getting some coffins and all flames, because those are just great to sell or just use on your maps. Also getting things like a mountain modifier to increase the explicit, and getting a couple nodes like Shaping the World to kind of keep our map sustain up. Now, I get comments all the time, why don't you take singular focus? If you're having a hard time sustaining maps, you can take singular focus, but the thing is, the tier 17 conversion happens at map drop. If you are using singular focus, you're getting less map drops, so that is getting you a less chance to get tier 17 maps, which are worth a good amount. And plus, I run them. I also run a map for this strategy that drops the Abomination one, which is the tier 17 that I run. But you can also sell them, and I haven't price checked them out, but I'm assuming they're still around 60, 70, 80 chaos a piece. So singular focus, great if you're having a hard time sustaining maps. This will help, but it will cut into what you make, because you will drop less tier 17 maps. Now, harbingers are the guys that look like this. This is the harbinger cosmetic portal. You just saw the little blue guy go in there. There's not going to be one to come out and make me look stupid, huh? Well, I'll run a map at the end of this, you'll see one. But they are the blue floating guys that go. They spawn a bunch of monsters. You do a little bit of damage to them. They spawn a handful more monsters, kill those monsters, then you can do a little bit more damage, and eventually they pop and drop shards. These shards, once you get a stack of 20, turn into currency. Regal shards get 20 of these, it'll turn to a regal orb. Same with alchemy, chaos, exalted shards are a thing. There are also fracturing shards, which are the big money maker with this strategy, because this is not common, this is rare, but not crazy rare. You can also get mirror shards from this and drop 2 mirrors. But as you can expect, mechanic in this game that can drop 2 mirrors worth of shards is extremely rare. You have to run a lot of maps or get incredibly lucky to get the mirror shards to drop. But as you can see, last night while I was testing this, I only ran about 10 maps just to make sure I remembered the strategy. Very simple strategy, but before I made a video, I wanted to make sure, and I did get a fracturing shard pop. Got about 3 fracturing orbs, and I thought I only got 16 fracturing shards on top of that, but I have 18 now, so maybe I got 18. Either way, with this, that is about 10 divine. If you add the shards in, about 11 divine, 12 divine, which is pretty cool. So those good pops are rare, but they are not incredibly rare. If you keep trucking, you'll get them, and you'll get a large amount of profit from that. That being said, with this Atlas, they are going to get pretty juicy. If you cannot run this strategy with rare maps, I suggest taking these down, the increased effect of explicit modifiers on your maps, and ones like Chiseled Perfection. You always want to be chiseling your maps as white and get the most quantity out of that, but lose these before you downgrade the maps. Now, if you can't run this, you have to take these out, and you have to run white or blue maps. That does not change the harbinger drops, because as we said, the only thing that affects it is the scarabs. It is not affected by the rarity or quantity of the map. So harbingers are a great strategy if you want to run some easier maps. You also have the Nico node down here packed with energy. You can put in a scarab or force Nico in some other ways, or use these points taken out to get some more of the Nico nodes to have them show up. Because what that's going to do is it's going to give you some extra, maximum elemental resist, increased damage, and increased movement speed. So if they are too hard, remember this is a pretty good crutch that you can use to make them a little easier. Now, for the scarabs, there are 4 harbinger scarabs, and we're just using 1 of each. Harbingers in area, drop rare currency shards, use 1 of those. one of the warhordes currency charge dropped by harbingers in area are duplicated. That's great for an obvious reason. 50% chance to be replaced by a powerful harbinger boss. Harbinger bosses are just bigger versions of the harbinger. They are obviously stronger, but they drop almost double the amount of shards, if not double. It's around there. And they also have a higher chance of dropping better and higher rarity shards. And then lastly, you're just using the normal harbinger shard, our harbinger scarab. I got shards on the brain. Just to get the 3 additional harbingers. You just use one of these. These are also very cheap, which is very nice. They're all 1 chaos a piece, if that. So if you do not have these, you can invest in them very easily, or just run a couple maps without some of these if you don't have all of them, just to get some currency to be able to invest a little bit more in the strategy. But they are well worth it. Now for the maps, I favor Jungle Valley and then one on Stagnation, because I like Jungle Valley. It can drop the Fortunate card, which is a Divine Orb card. It also, the boss isn't technically spawned in the map, so while you're running the map, you don't get any of the boss Searing Exarch altars, which we are going to be running. So that you get a better chance at better altars. Not to mention, it can drop the Abomination Tier 17 map. That is its map bias for Tier 17. And I like the Abomination maps. I run them. But Jungle Valley is just always a solid option. Another one is, and I don't know if it's even in... Yeah, usually people run City Square. Might have been taken out. But I heard a couple people say that Park is the new City Square. It's just a linear map. It's very open. So it's good for harbingers. You don't miss any as you're running through the map. So people really like Park. But for the sake of just a better map, I also suggest Jungle Valley. But take your pick on which ones you want to run. But anyways, yeah, this is what the harbingers look like. You can see them running in there right there. The bosses look exactly the same pretty much. They are just bigger. So you'll know when you... when you run into one, he's going to look gigantic. Compared to the other ones, he's about 2 to 3 times the size. Now, if you do not have a lot of currency and you're just starting out with this, do not use this yet. The 3 additional harbingers for 6 chaos, although it is worth it, it is not crazy worth it if you are really struggling. It's better to be able to keep running these maps rather than completely run out of currency to get something like some of these scarabs, like the Scarab of Regency or the Scarab of Discernment. These are very, very important. Now, if you have a very, very strong build and you get some things like, 5% chance to drop an additional Enkindling Orb, if you have a strong build, you can actually start putting some of the ones with higher Roman numerals, in other words, the higher chance to find corpses and all flames, more towards the top, near the higher packs, so you are dropping more and more all flames, more corpses, and some of the things like dropping Regal Orbs and Enkindling Orbs, especially this part of the league, aren't quite as important. So you can start kind of fishing for better things, putting the harder modifiers near the top and the higher pack size. But that's completely dependent on your build. It can make these maps way too rippy, so use that at your own discretion. That is always an option though. So you're going to run through as you kill these maps. You're going to find the Harbinger. You want to keep your distance if at all possible. While they are spawning monsters, it's very easy for my build. This is a Ice Nova Frostbolts build, the very popular one. That is everywhere. Link to this build is in the description. See, I got a Chaos Altar in the beginning. That is the Dream. Not the Dream, but it is very nice. You'll see this is one of the Harbingers. You'll know by all the blue portals. You'll start spawning stuff. It will get a little bit ridiculous. There is a big version that should be a boss. Keep your distance. You can see his health goes down, then stops, because he only takes damage after you kill a certain amount. There's a Fortunate card I was talking about, which is one reason I like Jungle Valley. So we're going to grab that. That'll give you some Divine. When he pops, you'll see he drops a bunch of shards. I have a very strict loot filter. I just have Neversink's very strict loot filter that it comes at default. I have not edited this, but just as an example, if this was Chaos or Exalted or Ancient Orbs, which you will get a lot of, what you want to do is when you find where these orbs dropped, if you can. If not, say if you want to pick up Alteration Orbs, you could. But it is also good if you can find where they are dropping and turn off your loot filter. See, it's going to fight me on this. Sometimes it's better just to click through stuff if you're going to pick these up. But if you can, hit Z to hide your loot filter, find the stack of the ore or the fragments that you can. This obviously isn't convenient for time, but this is just when you can find the exact ones. We use this one as an example, so you can see this. You could just click in like this and keep going down. What I suggest is hitting Z, hiding it, go to the stack, and just keep spamming this and picking them up, and then hitting Z again if you want to see your stuff. And that's basically Harbinger, guys. There's not too much to it. Very, very simple. It is a great strategy. It's very mindless. They can get a little juicy. Just remember what I said. Take out some of the explicit modifiers if your build can handle it, or if you really have to take some of those out. You can also, and you have to keep going further, you can start taking out the rarity and the quantity on the maps by making them blue or even white. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. At least give a like if you like this strategy or it sounds like something you can do or you have done before. Let me know in the comments about how it goes for you. And make sure you get followed over on twitch.tv/SafeOnTalk, where I'm streaming during the week. Most weeks, maybe not as often around this, but I'm still streaming, at least a couple times a week if I'm not too busy. And make sure you get followed or join the Discord. The link to those are both in the description. So go find some cool stuff, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.